Good morning, everyone. Another win for West Ham United into the fifth round of the FA Cup. The draw is tomorrow evening, and there's some teams I'd like to avoid. There's the usual suspects in there, Liverpool and Man City, Chelsea. Look at that and think, please not that. But there are one or two teams also in the fifth round of the FA Cup I'm looking at thinking, wouldn't mind. Not saying it'll be easy, of course, but I'd much prefer to play Southampton or Mansfield. I'd like to avoid Wrexham compared to one of those. So fingers crossed we get a good draw. But anyway, let's talk about the game yesterday and anything else that you'd like to talk about. Get your thoughts into the live chat if you're joining me at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Thank you very much. That is commitment. If you're joining me at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, that's commitment. Thank you. Thoughts into live chat. You're watching this later on Sunday through to Monday. Get your thoughts into the comments below. I've been reading a lot of what people have said about yesterday's game. And there's almost like two sides of it. One, there's people that are happy we won. It's the FA Cup. It's a potential banana skin. We've lost games like this in the past. We're into the next round. That's all that matters. And I agree with that to some extent. Then on the other hand, it's, poor performance. Certain players didn't play very well. And I agree with that as well. And I think you're allowed to have both things. That's why I feel good. Overall, I feel good. I feel positive because I was feeling positive coming into the game. Do I feel more positive? A little bit, because we're through to the next round of the FA Cup. You just never know. You get a winnable fixture, you get a nice draw, and you win that. Before you know it, you're in the quarterfinals, right? So that's good. You got to be in it to win it and stuff. Do I think we'll win the FA Cup? No, but I'd rather be in it than not, that's for sure. But I was disappointed with not the overall performance. I think when you make such big changes and you play a lot of youngsters and fringe players, I think the performance is going to be lacking. But more the individual performances, I was looking for some players to shine. I was hoping for some players to put in a really good individual performance so that if the first team 11 player in their position was out, you think, it's all right, that guy had a good game, albeit against Burton, but we can see what he's got. I don't feel like anyone that started yesterday covered themselves in glory. Areola was fine. I'm excluding him. He did nothing wrong at all. I don't think he had loads to do, but I've got absolutely zero criticism for Areola. But the outfield players, and I'll be a lot more relaxed and leaning on some because they are academy players, but there were quite a few that disappointed me, actually. Anyway, let's turn to live chat, see what you're saying. We'll have a discussion around some players as we go throughout the next half hour. Thank you very much for joining me. Let's have a little look. Steve saying, bit disappointed the youngsters didn't show more yesterday, especially Kante, after all I've heard about him, but I was more pissed off with Wilson. Showed virtually nothing. Wilson was one that really bugged me because a game like that is one of the more experienced players. You're thinking, go out there and make the League One defence look League One. Go out there and show your Premier League ability, show your quality. And I know he didn't get loads of chances, but he got 2 or 3 half chances, Wilson. Didn't make any of them pay. Has to be better, has to be more clinical because we are relying on him for the rest of the season. Obviously, Tate will be the main striker, but if he's out, Wilson starts. If Tate comes the 70th minute, it's flagging. Wilson's the one that comes on because of the injury to Pablo. So we need Wilson to be good. And I thought yesterday's a type of game where I want to see players like Wilson, Adama really step up and just show the difference between Premier League and League One. It can be tricky. The defenders can be. It can be a difficult game, but there was opportunities I felt for Wilson yesterday where it was now show your talent, and he didn't. I was really disappointed by him. As for Kante, Steve, I watch a lot of under-21s, so my expectations are perhaps different to yours, going by your comment, and I wasn't disappointed by him. I wasn't surprised by him, I think is how I'd say him. Zanusi saying, I watched a fair bit of the youth team and Kante hasn't impressed me. As for Wilson, he was poor. Yeah, I'm the same as yourself, Zanusi. I don't think he was utilised, even though the formation yesterday marries up with how the under-21s play in terms of a formation. It didn't match up with how they play in terms of style. And I think that the role Kante had yesterday was different to the role Kante has at the under-21s. I think that's was a big issue. We didn't see those driving runs. We didn't see him pressing from the front. We didn't see him in and around the box. And I think what he had was a really shackled role, but there was no bravery from him or Magassa. I think Magassa had glimpses though, whereas Kante, I think he struggled. Sparrow saying, hopefully Adama playing more against Burton will help him settle in. Desperately need quality squad depth lacking in attack. Ryan's glad we won. Obviously, it wasn't ideal, but at least we're through and keeping a clean sheet is another positive. Roger saying I wasn't surprised with what I saw yesterday. We have 13, 14 players who are Premier League standard due to the asset stripping of Sullivan. I still have hope we survive, but one injury to a key player, key starter, we are done. And I think that's my biggest worry coming away from the game. You just got a reminder, not that you needed a reminder, but we got a reminder yesterday that, you know, Tati's out, Wilson starts. If Bourne or Summerville's out, Adama starts. If they're both out, there's an argument La Madrid starts as well. And the drop-off in quality is quite significant. If Fernandez doesn't start, who starts? Is it Kante? Is it Magassa? The drop-off's quite significant. And I think we know that. I'm not telling you anything you didn't know before yesterday, but yesterday was just a harsh reminder, as if we needed one, but it was a harsh one. Brian saying, now we know why Nuno wanted to get rid of Wilson, cost us against Man U, and was ass. Quiz saying, oh, it's going to be tough for a second string team with no chemistry, regardless of the opposition. Still not good enough, though, and certainly proof we needed a lot more in the transfer window. Vinyl Golf saying, Norwich would be a good one. I have to agree with that one. I've forgotten Norwich, but I'm doing this from top of my head. Norwich is also a team that I wouldn't mind if they came out the bowl tomorrow night. Sparrow saying if we're doing Mansfield, that would be quite a nice potential making a real cup run. I agree. Ricky saying experiment confirms we do not have enough squad depth and we have to find someone to press with Tati up front. Maybe Adama. See, I think Kante is actually good at pressing personally for the under-21s. I actually think Kante's better when he's up there helping the striker, and he doesn't do it loads. He is a central midfielder, but when he does, some of his goals for the 21s have been almost like through his own hard work. He gets up there, he helps press, bad pass, capitalizes, goal. Don't want to see him in the first team, no, but I do think he has some good qualities, but they weren't on show. He's not ready for the first team yet. Dave saying the game could have been worse. We could have had the referee from Villa, Newcastle. I mean, he was terrible. I mean, the linesman misses the offside goal for Tammy Abraham. But that one, when the ball hit Lucadine in the hand, oh my word. I mean, this, I think, is where they just rely on VAR too much. Referees are used to having VAR to bail them out. And the linesman and the referee got that wrong. The linesman can only really see vertically. It's hard for them to see, you know, horizontally across the pitch. But he's a yard in the box that way and that way. Do you know what I mean? He's not like in line with the 18 yard. Do you know what I mean? He's comfortably a yard in from each line in the corner. So they both got it wrong. I mean, that was terrible. That refereeing in that game. But I just think there's an element of they're used to just going, oh, free kick. Oh, actually, it's in the box. It's a pen. I think they're used to just VAR bailing them out. I think it's made referees worse. But as someone who's anti-VAR, I couldn't have an argument for scrapping it when you see what happened in that game in particular, Dave, where there's big decisions wrong. Luckily, the end result's the same because obviously both decisions were anti-Newcastle. Newcastle went on to win the match, but my word. Mark saying that team yesterday cannot be played from here on in the FA Cup. Steve saying loads more than about yesterday. We won. I remember being at Stockport and Newquay and Hereford, and that was bad. The thing is, Steve, I don't think it's so literal. I think you're allowed to think it was a bad game of football, but happy we won. I think you're allowed to think, I'm glad we're through. That's the most important thing, but the player performances weren't good enough. I don't think if you think it was a poor performance, it doesn't mean that you're not happy that we're through. If you think the players that played yesterday weren't good enough individually, it doesn't mean that you're unhappy that we won a game. Likewise, if anyone says, I'm really glad we won, I'm not going to assume that that person thinks we played fantastic yesterday. Because I haven't said that, it would be unfair. So I just think, I get what you're saying. It is a banana skin, but I think you're still allowed to have opinions which are negative in regards to anything that you win. Which it's not just positive about everything or negative about everything. You can be both. A bit like Man United. The result against Man U, I felt before the game I would have been happy with a point. After the game, I was disappointed we only got one. So I think it was a point gained and an opportunity missed. I think it was both things. And I don't think you have to pick one or the other. It's not black or white. I think sometimes you can have a little bit of both. Major saying after that game, then Scotland smashing England in the Six Nations is the best thing about Saturday. Was witnessing Villa goalkeeper losing his bloody head. It was hilarious, that tackle. It was Bizot was just lost the plot. He absolutely lost the plot. Michael saying it was an ugly game of football, but onwards and upwards. Hopefully Barry couldn't watch the game as he was working, but he was glad we won. But seeing the highlights, we looked crap. And we should have won more than 1-0 to a team that poor. Ricky saying Tamworth up for most of yesterday's squad. Hopefully that was as good for them to get more game time on a bigger stage under 21s football. Death Cab saying Wilson starting to look like what we thought he was when we signed him. Yeah, I think that's a really good comment. I think that's a really fair comment as well. Nick saying I don't think the first half was as bad as it looked. They were always going to come out with a hard press where we're used to playing against teams that use a tactical build-up. It's a very difficult game. The ball was in there a lot, I thought, yesterday. Ricky's saying, big plus, how good is Summerville? See, this is one of the other positives. When we beat QPR, we had 11 games without a win, beat QPR in extra time, then we went on to beat Spurs and Sunderland. And I don't think you can underestimate just how much that win helped. That goal for Summerville might have helped. I still think the goal against Nottingham Forest helped Summerville. I know it got disallowed, but as someone, when I can only speak for myself here, but I think a lot of people agree. When you play football, you score that goal, gets disallowed. I think part of you still get that confidence boost because it's not your fault. Likewise, if you're a winger and you put in a really good cross and the striker misses a sitter, you don't need the assist to feel good. You don't need the assist to get the confidence boost off that delivery. You still jog away thinking, bloody hell, that's a decent ball I've just put in there. You should have scored that. You still get that personal boost. But let's just assume that didn't happen. He gets his goal against QPR and he's been scoring non-stop in the Premier League since. So hopefully, I mean, ideally, we could have done with a different goal scorer than Summerville because I think his form would have continued to Bournemouth regardless of yesterday. I was hoping that someone else might have got on the score sheet and given them that lift it gave Summerville. But we got the win, and I think a lot of the players would have went off that pitch feeling good. They would have known that was a difficult game. They would have known they didn't play well, but they've got the win. And there's enough players in that team, like Callum Wilson and Adama, that have played football long enough where they're maybe not in the West Ham United shirt, but they've all been on the end of an upset. They've all got beaten by a team a couple of leagues below them in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup and had that embarrassment factor. So I think hopefully they get a boost. Simon saying he was disappointed with Kante. Quiz saying my biggest takeaway from the game is that we cannot try 3 at the back again this season. No matter the personnel, does not work. I agree with that because it's like even if you switched all the personnel, you're still going to have the same issues. I think you're still going to have that middle bit missing. Although saying that, like I said, when people propose 3 at the back with Tadibo, Disasi, and Mavropanos, Fernandez, Souček in midfield, and Bo and Summerville behind Tati, maybe it would work, but I think that would only work when we're leading. Jay saying, I'm predicting 0-0. Can't see it happening in the league and been well over a dozen seasons since we last had one without a shutout. Yeah, it has been a while since we drew. I see what you're saying. A whole season without a 0-0 has been a while since. Yes, I agree. Ray saying, considering the referee is going to give Scars a yellow, do you think he will get a lesser ban in 3 games? It's not 3 games. It's only 1 game. It's not violent conduct, so it's only 1 game. It's red card. It's 3 games for violent conduct, and it wasn't violent conduct, so it's only the 1 match. We might appeal it, but it's even if we don't, it'll just be the 1 game, Ray. Ricky saying Nuno's setup didn't help the youngsters as to play a different style for the under-21s. Mandy saying the game was a banana skin, hoping for a giant killing. Ray, yeah, I just seen someone say it was Potts. Sorry, Ray, I just assumed you meant Potts. Not that in the world. Right, move on. Dale saying getting rid of Earthy Marshall was a masterstroke by West Ham. Absolute genius. And this was all after Paqueta said he was going to leave. I may detect a hint of sarcasm from Dale. Gary saying I was there. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen. Midfield, Magassa and Kanté were poor. Mayer's too conservative and not brave on the ball. La Madrid anonymous, and I cannot disagree with a word of that. Scott saying I think it's difficult as the mindset is Premier League survival as well. So as poor as we were, to get through is a bonus. Nick saying League One is a different game to what we're used to playing against. It made it difficult for us. When it calmed down, we showed we're the better side, even with 10 changes. Never doubted them. I think it was pretty comfortable up until we went down to 10 men. Once we were down to 10 men, that's when I think Burton started to put on us a little bit, and they had a couple of decent efforts. That shot from the edge of the box going just wide of the post, and Areola wasn't anywhere near it. There was a good save from Areola. So it was, yeah, it was, I feel like we were comfortable. Just an ugly game. Just an ugly game. Roger saying Earthy's not getting any games at Bristol. Marshall appears to be getting some minutes in Germany at least. Yeah, he's playing for Bochum. Ryan thought Panos was really good. Thought he showed a proper captain's performance. I like the fact he pulled the player away and stopped it kicking off. He's the one. There's always a player that splits opinions, isn't there? Every game, there's a player that splits opinions, good and bad. And Panos is that player yesterday. I've seen some giving man a match, and some people say he was dreadful, and a lot of people in between. And I thought he had a good game. I thought he played well. I don't think he'd be my man of match, but I thought he was decent enough. He had a lot to do defensively, but it was really ugly. The game was really ugly. However, I think he struggled. Our midfield was so bad. When our centre-backs had the ball, the only option was the other centre-back. Magassa or Kanté would drop, get it, and give it to the other centre-back, and quite often would turn and jog away. So the centre-back had the ball with no option. Sometimes Walker Peterson marked up, so it was hard for the centre-backs yesterday. There was no Fernandez. I think Potts made a bit of a difference when he came on. Magassa sharpened up a bit in the second half, but we didn't have that player dropping back, getting on the ball and trying to move it in from the midfield further up the pitch. La Madrid and Adama were too far away. It was difficult for the centre-backs yesterday because they also had two strikers, so they were getting pressed and they had little options to move it. Carl saying it worries me that Nuno saw this as an opportunity to play his tactics. Shows me that his number 2 is having a big impact. Nick saying, I don't watch under 21s, but I've heard that he's in the same mold as Vieira. Is that not the case? I think Magassa, I certainly wouldn't suggest that Kanté's in the mold of Vieira. I think there's I get it's more style than ability, but I don't know. I think Frankie compared him to Diame once upon a time, and I think that's maybe a better comparison. Dal saying, of course, it looked bad, but let's not rush. Maybe under different circumstances and personnel, tactics, it could have looked better. I feel like we can't judge our reserves or youth in full from this. I think that's fair as well, because you'd like to think that, you know, if you took, say you took the starting 11, like our main starting 11, well, let's take the 11 that started against Manchester United. And you take Potts out and you put Magassa in. You'd like to think Magassa would be a lot better than he was against Burton Albion yesterday. You'd like to think Magassa with Souček and Fernandez next to him would be a better Magassa than with Kanté next to him. So it is difficult in that regard. And I actually thought Scarles had the worst game, one of the worst games I've seen him play for West Ham yesterday. Yeah, I've been impressed by some of his performances in the Premier League. He's had some good games in the Premier League, in my opinion. Some not so good ones as well. But he's shown at Premier League level he can have good performances. But yesterday, I thought he was so untidy, so rushed, so erratic. I thought he was really poor. And in the first half especially. Second half, he got moved further up the pitch, and I don't think he was involved that much. But I thought he was really bad yesterday, Scarles. Yet, he's played better in other games, possibly because he's got Disasi or Todibo behind him. He's got Summerville ahead of him. It's probably easier to play in that team than it is the team yesterday. So I think what Dal is saying has an element of truth to it as well. Maka saying, "How you feeling? Any better?" Doing a little bit better, Maka. Thank you. I'm dreading the car journey. We've now got a big car journey with a 1-year-old in the car, so this is going to be fun. While you're here, just want to point you in the direction of two things. This video isn't sponsored by anyone. I'll be honest with you. We've got Beer 52, where you can get 8 beers for free. Go to beer52.com/hammers. I don't have them at the minute. I've taken them downstairs because I had a couple of drinks when watching the football during the week. But if you fancy getting 8 free beers, head to beer52.com/hammers. It's an affiliate thing. We get paid every time someone takes up the offer of the free beers. And also just pointing in the direction of Target, the darts company. They sent me some darts. I got the dartboard, thanks to you lovely lot in the live chat. I've opened them because I've had a look at them, the cult darts. These are on offer at the minute. But if you are going to get darts, only get them if you're going to play darts or you're actually thinking about getting into darts or anything like that. Don't go buy them just because I'm saying, hey, check out Target darts. Don't do that. Just only if you're a darts player and or you're going to get into them. They do have an offer on these darts at the minute, the cult darts. I'll show you them. These are the darts of the month. There you go. Beautiful stuff. Links in description below. And again, they're not paying us for this promotion or we get any money for sales or anything like that. It's purely because I bought a dartboard from them because you lot donated in the super chat because I never got one for Christmas. So I went and got the Tor dartboard because it's the one I wanted. And then someone that works at Target is a West Ham fan and a Hammers Chat subscriber got in touch and said, hey, I'll send you some darts. And he said, you wouldn't mind opening them up on stream, giving us a shout out. That'd be much appreciated. But you don't have to. But here's a link if you do. Because me and Gons are going to have a darts match at some point in the future. And basically, if Target like what we do, they're going to sponsor it. So anyway, there you go. Head over there. Links in the description below. Sid saying, what did we learn? That there's a big step up from the under-21s to the first team, maybe for some players. And I think that's fair. Thank you very much to Woodrow. Thank you for the support for the £2 super chat, saying we haven't had a home tie past round 3 in the London Stadium. Have we not? We went quite far in some of the competitions under Moyes as well. Pardon me. I'm trying to think. Was West Brom round 3? Must have been then. I don't know. Alphonse saying Potts might be one of our own, but unfortunately he's not good enough for the Premier League. Woodrow saying, is it true? I'm thinking off the top of my head. Oh, I'm trying to think. Someone in the live chat will have answered later on. DJ saying, job done. Glad we didn't risk big players. There's a major lack of chemistry in the team, but expected. Most of the players haven't played together. Yeah, it was a good performance, but good run. See, that's why I feel quite positive. I don't think we were very good yesterday, but I've got no. I don't know. Once the game was finished, my emotion stopped. I only had good things because, like I said at the end of the video yesterday, we're in the next round. And previously, I've always said, apart from QPR, because we 11 without a win, I wanted to see a good performance. Apart from QPR, when it comes to the cup, I always say it doesn't matter how you play. Just make sure you're in the next round. It's all you've got to do in the cups. I've seen us play well and get knocked out. I'd rather play crap and go through. I know we can play well and go through. That is ideal. But when it comes to the cup, you've only got one aim. And as I always say, when you get whoever wins it, at no point do you ever say, oh, do you remember when this team won the FA Cup? Yeah. But didn't they play badly in the 4th round against Burton Albion? It's not a thing. No one ever says that. No one cares. No one cares. So we're through. And as DJ said, there was some positives. Tati and Summerville only played 40 minutes. Bowen, Souček, Fernandez, Wan-Bissaka, Juve, no minutes. 5 of our starting 11 that will be playing against Bournemouth did not play at all yesterday. Disasi, I actually thought it was important he got on the pitch. So he got, half an hour or something? When did he come on? Extra time, the start of extra time maybe? He came on. No, he came on when he scored, didn't we? So he might have got 25 minutes, I think he got. But I think that's good. I think he needs that. And I think he was good when he came on. So, yeah, there's a lot of positives to come from yesterday. Like I said, a lot of negatives, but a lot of positives too. Hammer 99 saying Disasi was excellent, exactly what we needed. Most headers, made vital blocks and tackles. Nuno has a tough decision to make as Todibo was flying prior. Good problem to have. Nick saying I think the pitch quality was a massive hindrance. Burton play on that twice a week. When their player dropped the ball for his teammate to take the throw, it just stuck to the floor. Yeah, brilliant. Nick saying he's 52 and we never perform in games like that against lower league teams. It's just what we do. I've seen it so many times. It's in our DNA. We're better as underdogs, and we always have been. Lloyd was disappointed with Adama. I wanted and expected him to be the best player on the pitch. Didn't look like a hungry point-to-prove performance. James is our Leeds fan. Says you were poor yesterday. Summerville finding form could be vital for you. Hope you stay up as long as it's not at their expense. Major say never knew that. I always thought straight red was 3. No, let me give you proof. Nico Williams against Crystal Palace punched the ball on the line, didn't he? 1 game suspension. He played the next game against Leeds. It's not all reds or 3 games. Mark, thank you. It was very, very kind of you. Thank you, Mark, for the support. He's saying it was a horrible watch. Move on now. John thought Mavpanos was man of the match. Literally the comment above is Sam saying, not a fan of Mavpanos. Liability. He's really, really split opinions yesterday. Affiliate saying, come on, Gio. We kept a clean sheet. 2 hours of football with a team of newbies against the top FA Cup goal scorers. How can you agree that it don't work? I mean, because to use against the top FA Cup goal scorers this season, I think it's a bit biased, if I'm honest with you, because they've scored goals, but they've also played from round 1 of the proper FA Cup. They've played from round 1. They're always going to be top goal scorers. There's always going to be a lower league team as top goal scorers. The Premier League teams didn't come into it the last round. I don't think, we'll put it this way, they're not going to be top goal scorers in the competition, are they? I don't think it did work. I don't think we were good yesterday. That's all, affiliate. It's just my opinion is we didn't play well yesterday, but we won. JSA should have used under 21's tactics with the squad put out. Wilson seems to be having a strop and showing his true colours. Worried he's only interested in scoring for his bonus. I think you've just seen what Wilson is now. Darren, 3 nights. I need to get back for Thursday so we can do the preview for the Bournemouth game. So we're going away as soon as I'm finished this. We're getting in the car, getting up the road, and then we were there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll come back throughout the afternoon and wake up Thursday in this gaff, ready to rock and roll. Edward saying, who's our number 1? I think it's Hermansen. I'll be surprised if it's not Hermansen. Saying how much is delivery? $5.95, I think. I think it's $5.95. I think it is. It might be slightly wrong, but I won't be far off that. Danielle is saying, come on, everyone, let's have a bit of perspective. 3rd string team of fringe and youth. Bournemouth have a week, so I get resting 10 first-team players. We won a banana skin game. Just relax. Jamie is saying, feel a bit calmer about the game now. More relief that we got through. Some really worrying performances still. Likewise, Jamie. I felt that relief at full time, to be honest with you. Paul Magassa played okay in a poor midfield. I'd start him over Potts, more progressive, and bring Potts on to hold on a lead. Luke from West Ham World, good YouTube channel for West Ham fans. If you haven't already subscribed, do go and do so. Are you concerned Summerville could leave if we stay up? No. Maybe it's a bit naive of me. I have no concerns about anyone leaving tomorrow. I'm Red Vines coming. I have no concerns about anyone leaving if we stay up. It doesn't mean they won't, but I'm relaxed about it. If we stay up and Summerville goes in the summer, I expect it's for big money, double what we paid for them. Same with Fernandez. We stay up and Fernandez goes, it's going to be for big money. I would like to think so anyway. we've done quite well at keeping a hold of the players that we want to keep a hold of. Apart from Kudus, I think that's maybe the one that they struggle with the most. Wanda saying, is Szoboszlai suspended? No, 1 game suspension. 1 game suspension. And I think he's already missed it. They played Sunderland. He missed a game against Sunderland. It was a red card for denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. Just a 1 game suspension. Violent conduct's the only thing you get a 3 game suspension for. So just a 1 game. I'm pretty sure he played against Burton yesterday. I didn't watch it. I watched the Villa Newcastle one instead. Ryan saying, will I be doing player ratings tomorrow? No. I'm going to do it tonight. I was going to do it this morning, but we've run out of time. So I'm just going to do something tonight when I get to where we're staying in Scotland. And then Gonzo will be doing it on his own tomorrow or tonight. He might do it tonight as well because it's his son's birthday tomorrow. David saying, Orford should be on the bench against Bournemouth. Can't he poor and think he hobbled off? Yeah, I like Orford. I'm not going to comment on his performance because I'm probably biased in the sense that I do really like him. So what I think, but actually, you know what? I'm going to comment on it now and leave it. It's my opinion. I thought he was okay yesterday. I don't think he was on the pitch long enough. Difficult circumstances to come on, down 10 men. But I thought there was a couple of nice touches and passes on the edge of our box when we were defending that released Summerville and Tate. And I don't think they did enough when they got forward. Tate in particular, I thought missed a really good opportunity at one point. And then Summerville missed his one-on-one. But he earned that one-on-one with his own pressing. Freedom Sound saying the pitch was horrendous to make any fair judgment on our performance. Main thing is that we're in the hat. And lastly, thank you to Fortune Down Under TV for the support. Very, very kind of you. Saying Mavpanos couldn't pass the ball first half, but he made up for it. Scars was poor yesterday. Have to call it. Happy to be in the hat. 1 month ago, I didn't think we'd win another game. Happy days. And that's a really good way to end it because I'm looking forward to football at West Ham again. And it's just frustrating that we're in the bottom 3. We were in even just 12th in the league right now. I'd be really just full of positivity. I think we've been scoring good team goals recently, good individual goals as well. I think in the league, we've been playing some decent football in the last few games, winning games. It's good. Since we beat Spurs, that week between QPR and Spurs, it felt nice, but I didn't have that positivity because we beat QPR via extra time, and I don't think we played well. And that's the other thing. I don't think we played well against QPR. When we beat QPR, we were just okay at best. We just got the job done in the end. But since we've beat Spurs, I've enjoyed it more often than not. And even the games that we've not won, we got beat by Chelsea, but I thought the first half we were excellent, and then we drew against Man U. But I still think we got mugged off in that game and that we possibly deserved to win and we were unlucky not to win. So I'm really looking forward to the Bournemouth game on Saturday. And if we can get a favourable draw tonight and tomorrow night, we get a favourable draw in the 5th round of the FA Cup, bring it on. You know, half of the teams that is going to be left, I'm more than happy to face. And because of the way we're playing at the minute, and the game's only 3 weeks away, the way we're playing at the minute, I'd fancy us against most of the teams in the draw. Like I said, avoid Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal. I'd like to avoid Newcastle, but Mansfield, Southampton, Norwich, bring them on. You just never know, do you? Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Otherwise, I'm going to get a bollocking for being late. I'm already 4 minutes late. Thank you, Quiz. I will do my best to have a good trip. I'll still be doing videos though. And Hammers99 saying, seeing your dice videos, 12,000 on Tartan Jail. Yeah, it's one of my best performance video. Believe it or not, it's not my best. My best one was actually before I took the. I mean, here's how YouTube works, and here's an insult to me. Years ago, like 3-4 years ago, I did a video about Newcastle, about Eddie Howe, and how, pun intended, he wasn't getting the credit that he deserved. And it got like 20,000 views. And it was like, wow, okay. Because I wasn't really doing videos on the channel back then. And since then, this season, I've been doing regular videos. And it's still not enough, but I've been doing at least one a week. But the last couple of weeks, I've been doing more. And I did a video about Sean Dyche because I think he's an absolute blagger. I honestly think he's an absolute blagger. So I did a video about that. And it got 12,000 views. So it's a boost. And it's a really good video for that channel because it's only got 7,000 subscribers. But still nowhere near my best performing video, which had about 1,000 subscribers when I got 20,000. But I mean, Newcastle fans like me for a couple of weeks. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to disappear. I'll hopefully be back tomorrow, but maybe not. I'll definitely be doing player ratings later, though. Thank you very much. Please get your thoughts into the comments below. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Sky Need Hammers chat, and I shall catch you. I don't know when, but I'll catch you soon. Catch you in a bit.